Who's the best player in the country?
To the media or me?
As you see it.
I feel like I'm the best player in the country.
Okay. Who's the second best player in the country?
Sorry, young lady. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody would be watching the WNBA additionally for you. This is all about Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is bringing the money to the game, the planes to the game, the TV viewership. The WNBA is on fire because of Caitlin Clark.
Angel Reese recently learned that the TV ratings for her WNBA preseason debut were so poor that tumbleds had to switch the channel. Caitlin Clark, meanwhile, broke records as if she were competing in the Super Bowl of layups. In a single commercial break, how did Reese go from being Bayou Barbie to where everyone went? Was it the audience or the remote that died? This preseason failure may be the most hilarious silent treatment in sports history, so stay tuned. We waited a minute, even though no one was watching.
Personally say hands down Caitlin Clark is the best player to come through the WNBA. Hands down, not based on white privilege, I think based on her full athletic talent and the position that she's playing in the WNBA.
When Angel Reese entered her WNBA preseason debut with the assurance of someone going to be the main act at a Beyoncé concert, she discovered that she was playing in a deserted parking lot with just one perplexed squirrel in the front row. Yes, the self-described queen of college basketball strode into the professional ranks, only to have the TV ratings collapse like a TikTok dancing competition at a nursing home.
The Wendy's 4 for $4 meal. I could get chicken nuggets, a junior bacon cheeseburger, value fries, and a drink, Sprite preferably if they don't have root beer. And I can get all that for more than what it would cost to get to a Chicago Sky vs Minnesota Lynx. This is crazy.
Let's depict the terrible scenario. Angel Reese received complete radio silence despite being dressed with all the glitz and swagger of someone hoping for a red carpet. If TV ratings had a basement, hers penetrated it and began to delve into the center of the planet. When a YouTube lesson on how to fold socks has more views than your team's game, you know something is wrong. We are discussing an unseen degree of interest. It's likely that even Nielsen said, "Nah, I'm good," and switched the channel.
I would not be talking about the Fever's attendance figures when it had been widely known Caitlin Clark was not going to play in that Fever game on Friday.
To be clear, Reese believed she was a hurricane entering the WNBA. More smack talk than a Real Housewives reunion, a showy persona, and a big college name. The public all hit the snooze button when the cameras came on. Bad ratings weren't the only issue. Did this even air?
It was.
Ghost Towns levels.
Folks, it's over. Or it's close to it. If it's not over, it's close to it. I'm at that point where I think we are at a point of no return. I think we have hit a level where there are problems and they are starting to punch you right in the face.
Caitlin Clark, meanwhile, was working a few time zones away. The Indiana Fever could have achieved record-breaking attendance even if they had played their preseason game on Mars. While Angel was distracted checking her phone and wondering why her aunt wasn't watching, Clark was occupied with lighting up the scoreboard with Nielsen boxes.
Made some comments about Angel Reese.
Yeah.
You called her garbage compared to Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I love black people. Mwah, 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 mwah. But I think sometimes we do play the race card too much. This ain't racial. This is about sports. This is about athletic ability. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at Caitlin Clark's game, who's very reminiscent of a Steph Curry based on her range and shooting the three, plus everything else she does. And then you look at Angel Reese, stop it. She just seems as uncoordinated as a baby giraffe. If you throw up 85 attempts, you're eventually going to get one or two. But the fact that you have to throw the ball up 85 times is fucking ridiculous.
The distinction Clark pretended to be trying to prove something. Reese pretended to desire a crown simply for being present. The bad news is that participation trophies are not given prime time slots. It turns out that fans expect actual basketball, possibly even a few buckets, when they watch women's basketball.
Just an idea.
Instead of scoring goals for her side, Reese spent more time posing for pictures. Don't get it wrong, people adore athletes with positive personalities. However, there is one requirement. You must participate in the sport. Angel had the appearance of someone who believed charisma could take the place of shooting percentage. I hate to tell her, but when the Wi-Fi goes down, even influencers need a backup plan. The funniest thing is that Angel allegedly lost it when the ratings started to decline. She did, of course. Silence is the ultimate insult when your entire brand is based on commotion. Reese anticipated more than simply spectators. She anticipated pyrotechnics, standing ovations, cheers, and perhaps even a hologram Jay-Z intro. Rather, she was treated to a cricket concert on television.
Wait a minute, correct me if I'm wrong here. I thought Angel Reese was responsible for elevating the WNBA dump. I thought Angel Reese was responsible for taking the dump and turning it into an unmonetizable turd. Now, to her credit, it is a nicely polished turd. It almost looks appealing. Almost. Of course, it's still not appealing enough to generate profit, but I guess the WNBA is taking baby steps. I mean, what's one more year of multi-million-dollar losses?
Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, simply showed there, got dressed, and let her game do the talking. Just 3-pointers and viewing records. No theatrics, no diva behavior, no dramatic social media meltdowns. Clark performed as though he understood that spectators watch athletics, not a fashion display with missed free shots. This is not to argue that Angel Reese lacks talent. She has talents, but not the kind that would entice others to postpone dinner arrangements in order to witness her deceit. It's the old story, hype without substance. It's similar to giving people a kazoo solo that was recorded in a bathtub while promising a Beyoncé album. The WNBA most likely believed that Angel's addition would boost viewership. Rather, they received a master tutorial on how to underdeliver and oversell. Imagine spending millions promoting a blockbuster only to discover that half of the audience departed during the preview and the lead forgot her lines. Reese's preseason debut was like that.
We're the only ones chomping at the bits, waiting to watch Caitlin Clark play. It seems like the rest of the country was waiting in suspense along with us. It seems as if the rest of the country was on the edge of their seats, waiting for Fever basketball, and how do I know? Numbers don't.
It was more than simply the ratings, too. Even on social media, where Angel typically thrives, there were strange emotions. More flattering than a Diet Coke left out overnight was the excitement. Silence, no viral videos, no popular hashtags. There was a slow, uncomfortable hush that cried out, maybe we made a mistake. Caitlin Clark's highlights, meanwhile, were making the rounds like kitten videos. They were being shared by all of their grandmothers. It's all SportsCenter. ESPN was obsessed. I don't know who this is, but she's electric, said even non-sports fans. It's uncommon for someone to go from being a sports star to a pop cultural phenomenon, but Caitlin has already done so. She's still attempting to pass past security, Let's discuss priorities. Caitlin Clark is working hard in the gym, honing her skills, and accruing points as if it were her side gig. Rumor has it that she responded as though her birthday had been canceled when the WNBA showed her the viewership figures. Side glances, mood swings, and perhaps a couple of passive-aggressive tweets about actual fans.
Classic.
I thought Angel Reese was the star of stars, the icon of icons. That's what the mainstream media keeps telling me. Headline at Forbes from last month. How Angel Reese and A'ja Wilson are leading the WNBA's growth.
The Bayou Barbie hype train suddenly began to resemble a feline attraction at a dubious carnival. It was intended that Angel Reese would represent a new era in the WNBA. Vibrant, eye-catching, and daring. Rather, she serves as a warning about what occurs when enthusiasm consumes more time than hard work. Ironically, Ree might be a good player, but when you're constantly promoting yourself as a Grammy candidate, being good on the court isn't enough. You can't market yourself as the primary attraction and then screw up when the audience is leaving. The worst part is that Angel doesn't appear to be aware that the fans gave her a chance. Caitlin Clark, meanwhile, continues to rise. She's the most entertaining, not because she's the loudest. People want to see excellence, not just hear about it. The WNBA's persistent attempts to thrust Rhea into the spotlight like a last-minute guest at a wedding exacerbate the situation. However, no amount of PR wizardry can change ratings coal into Nielsen diamonds if the audience isn't buying it. When the scoreboard and the audience indicate differently, you cannot pretend to be relevant.
You've got a basketball player, you got a celebrity that, or somebody that thinks she's a celebrity, that happens to be a basketball player. All right, but she's not celebrity enough to actually pack in the stands. And guys, there is some ugly numbers here.
Naturally, Reese's supporters will claim that it's all bias, envy, or a complex anti-Angel plot. Yes, that's it. For no apparent reason, the entire nation abruptly chose to disregard one game. She didn't play as though she was saving energy for a TikTok dance break. Not because there was less tension in the game than in a lukewarm bath. No, there is a conspiracy. In the meantime, basketball is being portrayed as performance art by Caitlin Clark. It's earned by Caitlin Clark. In athletics, the same narrative keeps coming up. The loudest people always want to be the most cherished. However, the true icons don't need to yell. Their game speaks for itself. The entire nation leaned in to hear Caitlin Clark's whisper. Even after shouting into a megaphone, Angel Reese received crickets. Not to be overlooked is the humorous moment when Reese apparently stormed out of a press conference after being questioned about the ratings. That's the epitome of a diva. Play like a pro if you're getting paid like one. At the very least, respond to inquiries like someone who recognizes that TV ratings are not subjective. These are broadcast license performance evaluations.
Caitlin Clark herself coming through in 19 minutes of play, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Caitlin Clark doing Caitlin Clark things.
So there's no excuse. Nobody watched that game between the Sky at LSU for Angel Reese's homecoming. Nobody watched.
To be fair, Reese could do better. If she wants people to see Game 2, it would be better. We're in for another televised snooze fest, though, if her solution is to simply become louder rather than better. And it's unlikely that the squirrel from earlier will return. Here we are, then. Preseason 0. Angel Reese. The preseason hero is Caitlin Clark. A standing ovation was given to one. The other received a melancholy trombone and a participation ribbon. What fans want to see cannot be faked. It seems that they would prefer to watch Clark make three-pointers than retake selfies. It's not intimate. It's basketball. Indeed, it's possible that Reese will recover. Perhaps if she loses 30 points, everyone will take notice. However, she needs to move quickly because there isn't much air time left and Caitlin Clark is running ahead. You don't get to maintain the limelight in sports. In every game, you have to earn it.
Mainstream media seems to be struggling with the difference between a star and a mainstream draw.
In summary, though, Angel Reese lost her temper since no one was watching her play. Meanwhile, the record books were carelessly rewritten by Caitlin Clark. While the other is pursuing greatness, the first is preoccupied with making headlines. Additionally, the decision is clear to spectators. We're going to watch that Indiana Fever game again, so please pardon us. The one that people genuinely wanted to see, you know. Oh, and next time, Angel. Bring more gaming than glam, perhaps. Hashtags are irrelevant to the scoreboard. The fans don't either. And just when you thought Angel Reese's situation couldn't be any more embarrassing, the last insult arrives. The entire broadcast of Reese's debut generated less interest than even the halftime spectacle during Caitlin Clark's game.
Consider that.
Somewhere, Angel Reese in uniform received less social media interaction than a minor league mascot juggling basketballs while wearing a chicken suit. Nothing will hurt if that doesn't. To be honest, though, this was unavoidable. A career cannot be built solely on attitude. The flash must eventually satisfy the requirements. Yes, recreated a brand, but it's just empty packaging without the in-court fireworks to support it. When the hype bubble burst on live television, America as a whole flipped the switch to actually.
Who? Who in the hell is Asia Wilson? Uncle KC, she is the best player in the league. She's the most valuable dump diver. Asia Wilson is a huge star. Oh.
It's difficult not to laugh when someone enters a league behaving like a superstar and then is humiliated by a scoreboard and a spreadsheet, even if nobody is cheering for failure here. Angel Reese saw truth firsthand, and it was harsh. She arrived with the intention of dominating the news. Rather, a player who let her jumper do the bragging outshined, outplayed, and outwatched her. The crucial question now is whether Angel will change, get better, and gain attention, or continue to blame the lights for the lack of attention. Because the crown hasn't been awarded, Caitlin Clark isn't slowing down. It's merited. As of right now, Angel is still searching for the stage, but Caitlin is wearing it. Not to be overlooked is the greatest part. Caitlin Clark's preseason debut had the audacity to look like a championship night, while Angel Reese's game faded into the background like elevator music nobody asked for. Standing ovations, confetti, a sold-out audience, and ESPN alerts illuminating phones like a presidential alert. It was an event rather than merely a game. In the meantime, Reese's tip-off might as well have taken place during a cookout in someone's backyard. It's likely that even the squirrels outside were more present.
Clark has entered the league. The prevailing conversation around the WNBA has been drawing power. There's one thing that Angel Reese is not. Angel Reese is not a draw. If you haven't believed me before, this weekend further...
Angel Reese says WNBA players could go on strike over salary and benefits. All right, so Angel Reese says this. Rob, if you want to play this clip. You know what I love watching? I love watching her highlights of missing shots. She's got to be the worst shooter you've met in your life.
With all the hype surrounding the pre-draft, the endless reels of attitude, and the endorsement deals, you would think Reese would have emerged victorious. Rather, she arrived to a fireworks display brandishing a water pistol. Additionally, you can't afford to be forgotten in a league that is vying for viewers, especially when someone else is busily altering the rules with ratings to match. The message was quite clear. This league doesn't operate on clout, Angel. Performance is what drives it. And while Rhea is busy making excuses, Caitlin is currently out there gathering fans. The lights are on, and the cameras are in motion. However, if no one is looking, perhaps it's time to reconsider.